Welcome back to a dreary day out here on the dock. The sun is trying to peek through, but today, if you guys are watching this video, then the Olight sale that I'm about to talk about is live. There will be a link in the video description down below that will take you over there to pick any of this stuff up. They do have some free items as well, as they typically do this time of year, but this is their Black Friday sale. And essentially, I'm just going to walk you through the items. Some of them are new, some of them are new colors, some of them are new features. And we're going to show you guys the output here once the sun goes down, and then we'll close the video out. So that's what we're going to do today. So first one up here for my audience, new color here. This is the Olight BALDR-S. So this is a compact weapon light as well as a laser designator. It has the windage over here on the right side as well as the elevation to dial in your laser. It comes with both a 1913 and Glock style insert, and you can adjust it when you actually put it on the firearm, the position for where you want your thumbs to actually interact with the light. 800 lumen light. And during the sale, it's like $91 shipped. So that is a pretty darn good price for the proven output. Of course, it is rechargeable down there on the bottom, and you can also select your light only, light laser, or laser only output. And again, new color here for this sale. They have a FDE version in the past, but it was much darker than this one. So this one's a little bit of a lighter option, more like a desert pan, if you will. Next one up is going to be this guy here. It's going to be the Seeker 4 Pro. This light obviously is a handheld light. It has the magnetic charging port there at the rear. Also, you can stick it on a fridge or something like that if you want to. Leave it up there and have hands-free lighting. Additionally, it comes with this holster here, and the holster also doubles as another way to charge it, and it uses a USB-C port there. It comes with a USB-C charging cable as well. Has the holster obviously with a belt loop. Looks like it's about 1.5 inches, maybe 1.75 inches belt loop. And then they also give you a wall mount for it as well that your holster can clip into. It's a pretty cool little system overall, but this light here is around 17,000 candela. I think it's like 4,600 lumens, so it's a ton of light, as you guys are about to see. And it's all controlled via this little wheel right here. And basically you spin it to unlock it, and then you work through all the different modes, as you guys can see there. And you double click and get it onto turbo. It has 4 different lights on there, which is why, as you guys are gonna see, it's a very balanced beam pattern, but it also has some throw to it, obviously with 17,000 candela. Next thing up is something that is going to be available on a number of different products, and that is going to be their custom engraving, and it's free during this sale. So from what I understand, their capabilities to engrave a bunch of stuff are pretty high. So if you guys want to do like Christmas gifts that have the company logo on it or something like that, there's a number of lights they're offering this on. I should be rolling it in here on your screen so that way I don't mess it up. But essentially, we had these put on the Oclip Pros, and you guys can see the logo, 2 different sizes on there, and looks pretty good in my opinion. So the Oclip Pro is also going to be available though in the Christmas edition, which is this guy here, as well as other editions. Has our magnetic charging port there at the base. Of course, you can stick it onto stuff if you want to as well. 2-way clip, so that way you can carry it in your pocket however you want to. It is a nice thin light, and for folks who don't know, these are selectable. So it has a UV setting there over on that side, and then you can switch over to the laser, and then you can switch over to the output of the white light itself. And again, just press and hold to work through the different modes, and then just click through for your turbo as well as your strobe mode on there. So pretty slim little EDC option as well. And again, you guys can get those engraved. These things can be engraved as well. There's a number of different lights, but what this is their Olight. This would probably be their flagship light, what they really started with, the Baton series. This one, though, is the highest output one they've made to date that I'm aware of. So this is the Baton 4, and it also comes with this thing right here, which is a wireless charging system. Basically, you can plug your USB-C into there and charge it that way, and it will tell you, you guys can't see it because of the lighting out here, but it tells me right now it's at 100%, and it's charged up and ready to go. This can also be used to power other things. So it's also a mobile charging bank, which is a pretty cool little feature there. And you can close it up and carry it around as you wish, but you can also charge it via the standard Olight magnetic tail cap, as we just talked about. Same two-way clip system, so that way you can carry it bezel up, bezel down, and then all the controls here are done via this little button here. It tells you how charged up your battery is in terms of percentage there on the side, as well as in the actual case itself. These things are pretty convenient to have around. I've given many of these out as gifts. Folks seem to dig them. One of the lights though that I think is a pretty cool light, like when this came in, I was like, this thing's epic. So this is the Oclip Pro. I just got the Oclip in, probably the original one, a few months ago. I was one of the later guys to get it, but this one here has some insane output for the size of this little light here. So as you can see, it is USB-C rechargeable. You guys are going to see the output here in just a second, but what it does is it gives you the ability to use three different actual output settings, or LED settings. So one of them is going to be for red light only, and that's going to give you the red light that you see there. And then one's going to give you a really throwy light, and then another one's going to give you a more flood-oriented light for depending on what you're actually doing. This thing, for those who don't know, can be clipped onto just about anything, and it is also magnetic as well. So the number of uses for this are just, I mean, there's a ton. Like clipping it on your shirt, going hands-free, clipping it on a bicycle, something like that. Definitely doable. And of course, like I just said, it's magnetic as well. Very, very cool. And the output, as you guys are about to see here when the lights go down, is insane. And the last thing up is going to be this guy right here. This is the Ostrip. So as you would guess from the name, it is a LED strip of lights that is bound here on this little circle, but it is powered via a USB. You can control it via this little button right here. However, to fully unlock all the different capabilities it has in terms of changing colors, being synchronized with a bunch of other stuff, you have to do that through the Olight app on your phone. But that is a new option from them. It can be used for anything from like a Christmas tree to accent lights for like a gaming room or something like that. So those are the items that are up and new for this sale. Let's wait for the lights to go down and check out the beam pattern of the lights. We have our camera set on manual, so that way the image you see is as close as possible to what I actually see out here with my human eye. One thing I recommend for the new folks is, especially if you're watching on a computer, turn your monitor brightness up all the way. Again, that will be as close as possible to what I actually see here. And we're going to turn on the Oclip Pro. And basically that spot there where the wood fence meets the iron fence is about 30 yards away. The trees in the background are anywhere from 35 to 50 yards away, depending on the actual tree. And we're just going to kind of work through the different modes on this guy here. Low, medium, then high. Of course, you double tap for your turbo mode. And I will tell you, this is an impressive output for something of this size for sure, in terms of the actual candela that you guys are getting out there. 500 lumens, of course, but it can be displayed or put out in a very different manner, as you guys can see. So we're just switching the different modes there, and now we are in the flood mode. So that way the hotspot just went away there, as you guys can see, and we'll bring it back, and there you go. That's the hotspot mode. And then the flood mode, where you essentially have a wall of light, probably I'd say 170 degrees of actual usable light. And then we can switch it over to the red mode, and as you guys can see, it is on red, and you get a little bit of red out there at distance, but you're probably not seeing too much of it. Camera has a hard time picking that up, which is kind of the point of it. Next, we have the Baton 4 here on low, and we'll work through the different modes there, medium, and then high. And then if you double click, it'll get you into turbo, where you're getting at 1300 lumens, and you're getting a few thousand candelas. So definitely more than the older ones used to have, for sure, in terms of throw. Again, you can see that hotspot out there is pretty wide, so it's a general purpose type of light output. And then we do have that second layer there of spill and flood. There's a little more beyond that layer there, and that edge, probably hard to tell on camera, but it is there. So that is the Baton 4. And here's the output from the BALDR-S, is how I'm pronouncing it. I have no idea if that's the right way to pronounce it. With the light only, you can see that hotspot down there, a little bit narrower than what we just saw there with the Baton. Makes sense as it's a weapon light. However, it still has a pretty good amount of flood to it. This, of course, is the 800 lumen light. And candela is not super high, but again, it's a compact type of light. Their larger weapon lights do have more candela, but this is sort of more of an EDC type of design. You can switch through the modes there and turn our laser on, so that way we have laser and light. Not sure if you guys can see that on camera. The camera tends to wash out the laser somewhat. I suppose it's a little bit better on the darker surfaces, as we see there. And then switch it over to just laser only. And I'll tell you, the camera doesn't do that justice. It is much brighter in person. Now we have the output from the Seeker 4 Pro, and we can just kind of work through the different modes there. Again, low, medium, high, and then you double click, and that will give you the turbo. So you're getting 17,000 candela, I think 4,600 lumens. I'm not sure off the top of my head, something like that. It is a bright light that is capable of doing a lot of different things. It also does have a strobe feature as well. We're not going to turn that on in this video. Sometimes people complain if we turn strobe on in videos that people might not be expecting it, and it could cause some health issues. So we're going to leave that off, but it does have that option. For the new folks here, I'm about 10 yards back on my property. The lake from shore to shore here is about 110 yards, and there's a little fishing shack over there on the opposite side of the lake that's about 130 yards away total, just to give you an idea of what you're looking at. So this is a pretty far away target for a weapon light, particularly a compact one like the BALDR-S, but we will show you how it looks. So as I say often in these videos, when I actually zoom in, it's closer to what I see here with my human eye in terms of illumination. So like if somebody was out there, I'd be able to easily identify if they were standing there or not. We're just going to turn that laser off so it doesn't distract us too much. However, if they were holding something in their hand, not exactly sure I'd be able to identify that. We'll just turn the light off to show you the contrast of what it looks like without it, and then with, and we will back on out. And you will see that rosemary bush there on the right side of your screen on my property is still being well illuminated because it's a pretty balanced overall pattern of output. Now here's the output from that Seeker 4 Pro, a very, very different amount of intensity. The rosemary bush here is still illuminated on the right side of your screen. But if we zoom in there, you can see I would probably be able to tell what the object was in someone's hand if they were holding it. Not sure I'd be able to distinguish between a wallet and a small gun, for example, or a cell phone, but I'd be able to get down to that level of detail for sure. Interesting to have the Christmas tree out there. It actually creates sort of a photonic barrier, but as you can see with 17,000 candela here, it really doesn't matter. It makes more of a difference if we kind of tone it down to one of the lower settings there, like something like that. That photonic barrier is very real of that Christmas tree, but once you actually go full bore with all the lumens and all the candela, not that big of a deal. With the beam comparison out of the way, that really is all I have for you for today's video. Again, link down below in the video description. Also, link in the video description for folks who are struggling with mental health issues. A lot of people click on these Olight videos despite reading the title, seeing the thumbnail, and for some reason they get upset. So if that's you, check out that mental health link down below. It should help you out. There's absolutely no reason to go through life like that. It's simply it's not good for you, and I hope you get better. So with that, we're going to close it out. Thank you all for watching. I truly appreciate it. And if you guys have any of these lights, let me know how they are down below in the comments section. We'll see you in the next video.